Good morning, everybody. If you're in the back room, you're welcome to make your way up here. There's also free seats right up here. Welcome to Write the Docs Prague 2019. My name is Mikey. I am the local organizer. That means I live in Prague, and I welcome you to my home city. And it's really nice. Write the Docs is a global family, and we meet at various places around the world and also online. But this time we are here, and I'm really happy to have everybody here. So this is the introduction to the conference, which means we will give you a bit of an overview of what's happening. I will introduce some of the organizing team, and we're going to see what's going to happen over the next couple of days. And we're also going to talk a little bit about our community. So I'm going to start with a bit of housekeeping. This is something that we've been doing for quite a few years, and we find that it works really well, is we don't have questions on the stage after the talks. What we do have, after every talk, we have a break, at least 10 minutes, other than the food breaks. And we will have the speaker set up in the back room. There will be a table where you can go and ask them questions. Okay, and we want to do this to encourage discussions and to hopefully prevent comments disguised as questions, which is one of the pitfalls of many conferences that we've been at. So, the speakers will take up the whole slot for their presentation, and then during the break, you can go and ask them questions. I don't know if you heard, we have a triangle. This is our cue. This is your 2-minute warning that the next talk is about to start. We also have priority seating for accessibility needs. And of course, if you have something that you see that you need, please come and talk to us. We try to make everything very inclusive and accessible to everyone. So if there's any kind of issue or any question, you're free to come and ask us. The Wi-Fi network is Write the Docs, and when you get to the portal, you can trust the Czech field names, and it's Google, and Google is not sponsoring our Wi-Fi. This is built in from the venue. We do have a quiet room. It's downstairs in the back, and if you ask at the registration table, they will tell you the room is called Grand Prix, and we kindly request you to respect the space. With quiet room means quiet. Okay, and we do have the back room, which is kind of a relax, hangout, overflow, flex space where if you want to just have a conversation, you can go there, and we will keep the doors closed so that we will not interrupt the presentations in the main room. And if you've been here before, you know that we've changed things around a little bit. So speaker room is right over there, the staff room is right over there, and there are toilets along the staircase, and there's also an accessible toilet downstairs, and you can just ask for the key. We also have a cloakroom downstairs. You can put your luggage or valuables. It'll be operated during the day, but not at night, so please don't leave things there overnight. Okay? The Unconference and tomorrow's job fair are going to be held downstairs. There's the Aero Room, and there's the restaurant. And again, you can ask at the registration desk, and they will be able to direct you to the correct room. There is a sign-up board that you can see what the slots are. Lunch and all the snack breaks will be served in the back room and also downstairs in the restaurant. So we will have 2 of everything. There's plenty of food for everybody, and we will make sure that dietary restrictions get their food first. So everything will be doubled up, so we hope to reduce the amount of queuing. Smoking is outside the building and away from the doors. We have signs set up there. I feel like a flight attendant. So please respect the comfort of non-smokers and smoke away from the doors. So how many of you are here for the first time? Wow, welcome, welcome. Okay, so what I love about Write the Docs is we have really cool venues everywhere we know that we do, in Portland and also here. And we wanted to tell you a little bit about this venue. It's, if you notice, it's called the Auto Club, and it is actually a motorist club that was set up in 1903. And this building was launched in 1929, and it is, you see the cars, and they have meetings here, they have events, and this hall is also used as an active ballroom for dance and concerts. And this is how I found out about this venue, because I perform here on the stage with my band for dancers. So I spend maybe 3 or 4 times a year in this venue, and I love it very much. So what are we all doing here if we're not dancing or singing, right? So Write the Docs is a community conference, okay? And the community, it's a social network, it's a way to share knowledge. You know, we're not focused around one technology, you know, we're not focused around one industry. It's a very holistic view of anything to do with content and communication. So who is here, meaning what kind of people do you expect to meet in this conference? And we do want you to meet a lot of people. That's why we set this up. So in the beginning, when Write the Docs was founded, we have coined the term documentarian because we wanted to differentiate that this is more than just a technical writing conference. And you will see that there's a lot of different kinds of jobs here and industries and walks of life. So anybody can be a documentarian if you care about content and communication, regardless of your role. So you can be a developer, you can be a designer, you could be a support engineer, you could be a scientist, we have librarians, we have a lot of different kinds of people, and that's what makes the community, I think, so wonderful. So this is our 6th year in Europe, and the first conference was actually in Portland, Oregon, and they're 1 year ahead of us. Someday we will catch up to you. And the first conference was in Budapest, and then the next conference was here in Prague in a different venue, and this is the 4th time we are at this venue, and we're very, very happy to be back. And we still have no real idea what we're doing, but we're getting there. We're getting there. And the reason why we have this slide up here is to let you know that we do not consider ourselves as all-knowing, all-powerful. You know, we are always learning, we're always optimizing every year, every event that we do. We always want feedback, we want collaboration, we welcome your comments, we welcome your suggestions. The power of this community is with the people, you know? So the more people get involved, the more people are engaged, you know, the better the events are, the better the online spaces are, and the more value we get out of it as, you know, humans and professionals. So what is your job? Because we're talking about people. So your job is to make friends. We are all very friendly people, and we want to collaborate and network with a lot of different kinds of people, meet people that are not necessarily, you know, from your own job or from your own country. And then the next thing we want to do is to learn something, of course. We have a lot of presentations up here. We have Unconference sessions. There's a lot of ways to get knowledge, okay? And we want you to have fun. Like I said, this is a social network and a knowledge sharing network. So whatever you do, it should be enjoyable, okay? And how we act to make this happen. We want to be welcoming, whether you're here for the first time or you're here every year, you know, regardless of what your job is, you know, where you come from, what you believe in, and we want to be welcoming to all. And we want to be open, we want to communicate openly, okay? And we want to be supportive and positive. And so we're saying all of these things to make it very explicit that it's okay and we want you to do this, right? So because sometimes you get people who have some trouble getting into a new place, right? So we have things like the Welcome Wagon, and I'm gonna call up some of the organizers to explain specific things in just a few minutes. And I will start with the co-founder of Write the Docs in Portland, Eric, who's going to tell us a little bit about the tips and tricks on how to make the most out of this event socially.
Thank you. So we just told you that you need to do a lot of stuff, but we didn't really tell you how to do these things. And so over the years, we've come up with a couple different rules that really have been trying to kind of ways that you can execute what we're talking about doing. And one of my favorites is the Pac-Man Rule. It is called the Pac-Man Rule because it looks like a Pac-Man. I will hopefully let this video explain it if the internet works. Google Slides doesn't actually automatically cache them in the deck, so if the video fails, I will explain it in words. Look at that. So this is a Pac-Man. Oh. Look there. All right, well anyway, Pac-Man Rule in words is when you're standing in a group of people, always leave room for one person to join you in that group. So when you think about it, if you're standing like this and someone comes up and actually wants to join your group, they feel excluded and they're sad. And if you're standing like this, in the shape of a Pac-Man, when people come up, they're actually able to join your group, and you can include them in your conversation. You can tell them, please tell me what you're talking about, and just kind of bring them into the conversation. The other thing is called the Snowball Rule, which is a new name for this year. But the idea is that for each year that you've been in attendance, so for me, that is 6 years, I need to meet 6 new people each day. And if this is your first year, you only have to meet 1 new person each day. And so the concept here is really that the people who've been coming longer, who've been involved with the community and kind of been around, have more responsibility for welcoming the new people into the space. So if you're new here, hopefully someone who's more experienced will come up and actually welcome you into the conference, help you get to know the ideas, the space, and that's also what we do with the Welcome Wagon. But anyway, those are kind of 2 of the rules that we try to use to keep in your mind so you can really think about, like, how do I actually put some of these things into practice when I'm trying to, be a good attendee at this conference? Okay. So to be explicit, the goal of being in a room is to meet other people. So everyone here, you have permission to meet other people in this space, and that is really the goal. The goal is not to stand here and listen to me talk. The goal is to meet all the other lovely humans that are here and get to know each other. So I'm giving you all permission to go out and meet other people here, but also know that if you're not in the mood to meet other people, you don't have to. We have a quiet room. You can go out to the park outside. Make sure to also take space for yourself, because this is a room full of introverts, and talking to people all day is terrifying. So,
thank you. Thank you. So now I would like to bring up Sasha, who is also our volunteer coordinator, and she's going to talk a little bit about our code of conduct.
So our community has a code of conduct. You all agreed to it when you registered your ticket. And so the code of conduct is one of the basic things we do, one of the minimums we have for creating an inclusive and welcoming community where everyone can feel comfortable and safe. The code of conduct applies to all of our conference-related spaces, so that includes online, that includes the Slack. The social events tonight is, of course, also included. So please drink responsibly when you go to a social event. Don't push other people to drink, and you're still responsible for your own behavior. We have a standard process that we follow for code of conduct reports. It's all documented on our website, so you can read exactly what we do when we receive a report, how we respond, what considerations we take into account. If you report something, one of the things is that we will keep your name confidential. So if you see something in a talk and it doesn't sit right with you, we won't tell anyone that it was you who reported it. And also, when it comes to code of conduct things, intent isn't magic, but it can make a difference. So it can happen that someone is removed from the conference for a code of conduct issue, but this is not very common. So it's not something to be afraid of. Like, there's a whole range of things. We might just have a conversation with you and just say, don't do that again, which is actually the most common. So it is here as a tool to make everyone feel comfortable, everyone feel safe. It's not something to be scared of. And if you have any issues, you can talk to an organizer, anyone with a yellow lanyard like this one. They can help you further with whatever's happened. If you are not sure whether something is a code of conduct issue, whether it violates the code of conduct, then please talk to us anyways. If it is something that you're just like, I'm not really sure where this fits in, but I'm just like kind of uncomfortable with what happened and I don't know, then that's enough to talk to us. Like, we will not look badly on you if you report something and then we say that's not actually a violation. We'd still be happier to know, rather than not hear about an actual issue. Other than approaching people with yellow lanyards, there are on the website, on the Code of Conduct page, there are contacts listed with phone numbers and email addresses, so you can also approach any of those people if it's something you prefer to do in writing, or you can't find one of us, or it's something that you want to report after the conference. That's pretty much it. Thank you.
Okay, so what have we had so far? what are we going to have next? So this conference is more than just talks, and we try to have a lot of different activities to give you an opportunity to gain knowledge and meet new people in a variety of ways. So we started out on Saturday with a boat ride. Raise your hands if you're on a boat. We had about 70 people on the boat. It was really, really lovely. We had perfect weather. You're welcome. I was praying for this because we had horrible weather last week. And then yesterday we had the writing day. Raise your hand if you were in the writing day. Yeah, wonderful. We had about 100 people in the writing day, something like that. And the writing day was modeled after, it's modeled after code sprints, and people were just working on projects, and I hope that everybody got good value out of it. Last night we had the reception. Raise your hand if you were at the reception. Okay, great, great. So we hope that was nice. So what do we have today and tomorrow? Okay, we have parallel programs running on the main stage, which is right here. We have 15 speakers with wide-ranging content, and we hope that there will be something for everybody in these talks. We had almost 70 talks submitted this year, and we had some really, really strong talks. It was very difficult for the CFP panel. And we also have live streaming run by one of our media sponsors, Bart, sitting up there right at the corner. And we also have live captions by Julia and Cheryl, who are sitting right there. And we hope that we'll be able to spread the word and have people watch the talks even if they can't be here, which is very sad. So hi, everybody at home. We do have a schedule change, okay? So some of the talks moved later today, and so the printed schedules are slightly out of date, but the website has always the latest schedule. So if you are in doubt about what's happening, then please check the website. Now I will bring up Paul to talk about lightning talks.
Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. So, yes, this is a community event. We want you to participate or not as much as you feel comfortable. If you would like to sit here and absorb all the talks, you're perfectly welcome to do that. If you want to go into the hallway, get into the hallway track, meet new people, we highly encourage that. Even more so, if there's something you would like to share with this event, we have lightning talks. So these are the usual format. You have a 5-minute opportunity to make your point and get off stage. And we would love you to take this opportunity. So if you have something that you think you would like to share with this audience, all these wonderful people around here, if you want to share something with us all, as long as it's within the scope of the code of conduct, you can talk about anything that you think is interesting and we might find interesting. In the past, we have had people speaking about the Burning Man Festival. We've had people talk about self-care. Absolutely anything that you think might be interesting is totally, you can talk about that. And sign up is super simple. Downstairs on the registration desk, there are these two quakes, these chalices. There's one for seasoned speakers and there's one for first-time speakers. All you need to do is put your name, the rough idea of your talk, into there before 12. But not before the end of the first talk. Please stay for the first talk. And then, so once that talk is over, you have the chance to go down, put your note in the relevant quake. A highly trained squad of selectors will then work out which talks we want to do. And then there'll be an announcement just before lunch. So the talk just before lunch, at the end of that, will then say who those speakers are. If you are in the first-time speaker bucket and you would like some guidance or mentoring and how to do that presentation, please come and find me immediately, right? Don't wait until the announcement has been made as to who's selected, right? I am totally happy to help you no matter what. So if you go into that bucket and you'd like some additional help, please come and find me down. I'll be around out here somewhere. Please come and track me down. Otherwise, if you put your name in the bucket today, it will stay into the bucket for tomorrow if you're not selected for the slots today. You have 5 minutes. You'll be told to get off. And that's about it. Usual rules apply. If you do want to do slides, you're welcome to. If you don't want to do slides, that's also totally cool. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, that's about it. If you would like to contribute to the conference by putting your own views on a particular topic across, you're very welcome to do so, and I hope you take that opportunity. Thank you very much. Welcome.
Thank you, Paul. So we have talks. We have lightning talks. We also have an unconference, like I said before. So today it's going to run all day. It's going to open after the introduction, and it's going to be downstairs. And the unconference space is kind of a way to formalize the hallway track. Okay, so it's a chance to give people space and structure to talk about a specific topic or something that may not be relevant to all of us, which means you may not hear it up on this stage. But we have a lot of people here with different kinds of interests, different problems that they want to solve, different questions, and we have a lot of people here with different kinds of knowledge that they can share and collaborate with each other. So the sign-up board is downstairs, and Eric will be the coordinator for the unconference. So if you have any question about the unconference, you can ask him. And we will have handouts, like little cheat sheets in the room with helpful tips if you've never been to an unconference session before. And if you've been to different conferences, you might actually know it by different names, like open spaces, birds of a feather, roundtable discussions, things like that. And some basic guidelines for the unconference. If you do not feel engaged in the session, feel free to leave that session. You know, you can walk up to a table and walk away at any time. So don't wait, you know, don't feel uncomfortable if you're sitting in a room, in the table, and you feel like the subject is not as interesting as you thought it would be, or maybe it's not relevant for what you need, then you can make that choice. And if you're running an unconference session, then please be prepared for that to happen. And it doesn't mean they don't love you. You know, it just means that they need to maybe go somewhere else. And we have 8 parallel sessions running at any given time. So you are allowed to make a choice and then change your mind, okay? Every session should have a moderator. It doesn't necessarily have to be the person who's running it, but they should decide on some kind of moderation to keep the conversation flowing and to keep time as well. And tomorrow morning downstairs, we will, instead of the unconference, we will have a very special job fair where some of our sponsors who have jobs for documentarian-friendly jobs, they will have tables there, and if anybody who's interested in jobs or finding out different information about different career options, then you're welcome to go down there. It'll be open from 10. And then after that, we will resume the unconference. So if you stay tuned on WTD Conferences channel on Slack, and if you follow us on Twitter, we'll be able to announce these changes as they happen. And we also have a job board where you can check out jobs online as well, so even if you don't find something here, or if you want to know more, then you can also check out the job board. Tonight, we have a social event, and the social event is a chance for us to continue the conversations that we've had without laptops and without having to sit in a room and watch one person speak, for example. So it's going to be at a place called Erko Gastropub, and it's about 15-20 minutes walk from here, or a few tram stops, so it's not too far. And we are starting at 8 o'clock. And we will have light snacks and drinks while our tabs last. So if you want to have a sit-down dinner, we finish here about 6 o'clock, and then you should have enough time to go drop your laptop off, you know, grab dinner, and then come and join us at the social event. Please bring your badges. Please bring your badges. We will have volunteers at the entrance who have been braced to protect the space from anybody who's not a part of the conference. We have the whole place to ourselves. And of course, the code of conduct applies at all times. We will also have a special non-alcoholic cocktail menu with very strange names that we invent every year. So you will have lots of options. And the main part is to give you space to socialize. So that will be tonight. And I'm just going to ask Beth and Daniel to stand up and show themselves. These are our welcome wagon folks. Yeah, give them a hand. Yes, they've been hard at work, you know, doing venue tours and meet and greet, and we had a lot of people who are here for the first time, and so that's what the Welcome Wagon is for. We have resources on the website, and we also have these lovely humans here who can help answer any question that you want. We also have a Prague expert. Jakub, where are you? Okay, he's right there in the back. This is Jakub, he's our Prague expert. So if you have any questions about where to eat, what to do, what to see, any interesting things in Prague or around Prague, you're welcome to reach out to him. You can talk to him on Slack, or you can find him here. And we also have a badge flare contest, and I hope everybody's been decorating their badges. This one started at the first Prague conference as a very unofficial, on-the-spot thing, and has now become a tradition, and we even have it on our website. This is a part of the conference now, and I'm very happy that it is. So decorate your badges and tweet it. Tweet a photo of it with the hashtags WriteTheDocs and WTD badge. We need to have both hashtags to qualify. And we also ask that you only use the materials that we have at the badge flare tables, so that way we have a level playing field. Unfortunately, we will have to disqualify anybody who we had somebody one year put LED lights and make something really cool, and it was amazing, but no, not everybody had access to that, right? So we will have some honorable mentions. So if you really want to get creative, we welcome you to do it. Submissions are open until noon tomorrow, okay? And we will announce the winner right after lunch before the lightning talks. So we're almost done with the introduction. I just want to say thank you to our speakers who've worked hard on preparing talks, to our volunteers and organizers who have been working hard to prepare this event. And if you see a volunteer, they have purple lanyards, please thank them, because they are doing a lot of work to ease the stress off of the organizers. And we're very, very grateful to have so many wonderful people who are contributing and helping out with joy. And thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you to all the volunteers. Yes. I should stop here. Yes. And thank you so much to our sponsors. These are our sponsors this year. So you'll see some of them at the job fair tomorrow. And you might see some people with some shirts or some hats or whatever. And they help us keep the ticket prices low, and they help us make the event more awesome for everybody. And of course, thank you to all of you, because this would be a very empty room if we didn't have any attendees. And this is our biggest European conference yet. We have about 300 people here. And you notice that we open the doors so that we can have space for everybody. So thank you so much for coming around from different countries and cities and walks of life, and to all congregate here and have a great conference. So thank you. And before we finish, and I would just take 2 minutes to talk about where we are as a community. So we try to publish statistics and keep have some kind of an idea of how we are growing. And ever since Write the Doc started 6 years ago, then things have been growing in really amazing ways. So right now we have 3 regular conferences every year in Portland, right here in Prague, and also in Australia. That's coming up in November. This year it's going to be in Sydney. We have meetups on 5 continents. How many meetups do we have? 30 something, I don't know. 50? 50 meetups. All right. Yeah, that's great. We have more than 6,000 Slack members. Our Slack is extremely active, and we're very happy to see the conversations there. We have a monthly newsletter that in the last year has been lovingly curated by Beth. So thank you so much for increasing the exposure of the newspaper. We have thousands of subscribers to the newsletter. And, just to kind of to remind you that we are not perfect and we are never done learning. We're always thinking about how to improve and how to optimize, how to grow the community in pleasant ways. So we're talking about doing an East Coast conference next year, because generally we don't want to have more than a few hundred people at each conference, because this is such a wonderful vibe, and you can't get that with a 2,000 person conference, right? So we want to start an East Coast conference next year, if anybody has any ideas. We also want to bring in more structure and transparency in the global community team. So things like governance, things like, personnel, how do we make decisions, how we take, because we are a self-supported community, so we keep rolling our investments forward to make better events, more events for everybody, and more spaces where we can share knowledge. We're also working on refactoring the community website. If you were in Writing Day, we're doing some things around that. And we just published a salary survey. And if you signed up for the newsletter, then you should have gotten one. But if not, we will also post it on Twitter and on Slack in the next, hour or so you can get the links as well. And so we'll be very happy if you do that. So how do we stay in touch during the conference other than meet people in person? We are on Twitter at WriteTheDocs. If you want, you can use the hashtag WriteTheDocs, and also on our Slack. We have the WTD Conferences channel for official conference announcements and discussions. You can use the Prague channel for more informal, dinner plans and things like that. But the main channel is WTD Conferences. So that's it for the introduction. This is the last you'll see from me on the stage until we close the conference tomorrow. And now I would like to turn it over to our wonderful MC, Carolyn.
Hey, everyone. All right, so we're going to have a short break now to be able to get our first speaker all set up. And I just want to remind you that the unconference sessions are starting now downstairs. The talks are recorded, so you can enjoy them later if you want to go to an unconference session. And lightning talks will be available after the first session. And so start thinking of your ideas and getting things in your head. So yeah, see you in like 10 minutes.